out like this, electric field is going. There's of course going to be change in potential along the conductor. There is going to be a change in potential if I walk from this point to this point along the side of the conductor, because I am going in the direction of the conductor, and now you know why. But if I am talking about an equipotential surface, that is an electric field like this, and there's a conductor right in perpendicular to it, then I can say that the potential difference between this point right here and this point right here is going to be the same. So at every point on this conductor, the potential is going to be the same. That was our concept of equipotential surface, isn't it? And so now I want to make a point here. What I want to say is, I want to tell you all that the potential difference, okay, before that, we have to go from A to G. That is our destination. A is the starting point and G over there is the ending point. So what is the way to reach G? Okay, what is the way to reach G? I've got a friend request on Facebook. Okay. From A to G, we can move either from A to B. To reach G, we can go A to B, and from B, we can go, let's say, H and G or C and G. So many ways are there. But let's look at the starting point. When I look at the starting point, I can say that there is only one resistor between A and B. So I'll call it, okay, I'll call it V1. And similarly, there will be another potential difference right between A and D over here. Let's call that V2. Similarly, over here, it will be what? V3. But if you see, if I am sending current over here, if I send current over, isn't the current distributing? Is the current distributing? Yes, no?
Yes,
And
sir.
the current, yeah. So if the current is distributing, can I say it is in series or in parallel? What can I say? What can I say? If the current distributes within a charge, within a conductor, within 2, 3 conductors, can I say
Parallel.
they are parallel? And so when we have learned the concept of parallel, what did I say? The potential difference across all these parallel resistors are going to be what? They are going to be same or different. Potential difference across this point right here and this point right here, across these two resistors, across any resistor in a parallel situation, are they same or different?
Same.
They are going to be the same. So can I say the potential difference of A and B, A and D, A and E is all going to be same? Can I say that? Because they are parallel. I'm just
Yes,
talking
sir.
about AB, AD, and AE. So in that case, what I will do is this smart trick. What I'm trying to tell you is that if the potential difference across all these A to B, A to D, and A to E is all same, can I say that B, comma D, comma E, and A, the potential difference between A and B, A and D, A and E is all going to be same. So in that case, I can draw the resistors like this. Is this understood? Any doubts so far? Okay. This is what I've done. I wrote here R. I wrote here R. I wrote here R. Now, if this is understood, now forget AB, AD, and AE. Now look further. What can we see further? From B, how can I reach G? How can I reach G? There are two ways of reaching G from B. I can go either from B to C and then C to G, or I can go from B to H and then from H to G. Yes or no? Similarly,
Yes, sir.
from I can go from this D, okay, this D, I can go either to C and from C to G, or I can go from D to F and F to G. That can be my path from D. Similarly, the path from E will be what? E to F and from F to G, or E to H and H to G. So right now, what I want you to see is, if you forget all this, if you forget this and this here, what I want to make a point is, there is another potential difference which are same in nature. There's another one. What are the ones? Can I say that from B, if I have to go to C, and from C, if I have to go to G, or if I have to go from B to H and H to G, there are how many resistors in between these two paths? Two resistors. There are two resistors, one here and one here. Even this has one here and one here. Two different paths and two different resistors. Similarly, if I have to go to G from D, there are two resistors here, one here and one here. D also has the same configuration, one resistor here and one resistor here. Similar, E also will have the same configuration. E will have one resistor here, one resistor here. Other path will be E to F and F to G. Same, two resistors, two resistors in every path. So the potential difference between these two, that is B to G, D to G, and E to G, since they have two resistors in their paths, they are also going to be what? The same thing. They are also going to have the same concept. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now what I can do is I can simply write B, D, and E is over. E to H, I can write there is one. Okay. There is a H over there. Then I had considered B. Next point is what? Again H. Okay. So E to H, B to H. There are two parts. Okay. So I can say that from E, look here, carefully look. It is going to be a little bit trickier. At this H right here, okay, there is a path which I can take from B to reach H, and there is a path from E also which I can take to reach H. Yes or no? So I can write that from B there is one resistor to H, and from E also there is a resistor to H. Wow. Now we have already finished with H. Let's consider G. Okay, I will write G over here. Listen carefully. From C, there is going to be sorry, not H. Which one were we supposed to consider? Sorry, C, not G. We are now supposed to consider the second step, that is C. Let's talk about C. So from B, we can go to C, and from D also we can go to C. So I will write from B we can go to C, and from D also we can go to C. Which is another point. There is another point here, F. From E I can go to F. Yes or no? And from D also I can go to F. From E I can go to F. From D
Yes,
also
sir.
I can go to F. Please pay attention. So I will write one more resistor here. This is supposed to be F. Now, since we have reached which points? We have reached H, F, and C. We have reached H, F, and C. From H, how many resistors go to G? There's only one resistor. Yes or no? Yes or no? From H
Yes,
here,
sir.
one resistor. So draw one resistor. From F, one resistor. Draw one resistor. And from C, one resistor. So draw another. You see how easy it got? Did you see how easy it got? What is the resistances across this? What can I say it is? Tell me quickly.
R by 3.
R by 3.
R by 3. Great. Good answer. Everyone, good answer. R by 3. What is going to be the resistance across this? How many resistors? 6 resistors. What is going to be?
R by
R by
6.
R by
R by
6.
6.
Great answer. What is going to be the resistance across this? Again, R by 3.
R by 3.
What do you,
R by 3.
come on, solve this. What do you get? Take 6 as a LCM. What do you get?
5
Tell me
R by 6.
So it's going to be 5R by 6. This is your answer. This is your answer. These questions, okay, these very same questions can come in the form of two cuboids coming together, or they can come in the form of three cuboids together. You can understand there's another cuboid here, another cuboid here. Okay, all you have to do is find out points like this. These are the main tricks to finding out the problems like this. Okay, so try them. Don't by heart how I did it. That's not important. You can try it in any other way. Try it in many other ways possible. See if you get the answer. See if you get the answer. Okay. This was a good. This was a good sum. Let's talk about Wheatstone Bridge. I know you'll all know this, but there are questions based on this. Those questions are not as easy as you think. Okay, so let's look at this point. Let's say there's a resistor here, another resistor here, another resistor, and there is a resistor right in between. Okay, and this combination of resistors is actually connected to a battery. Everyone remembers how much work is done by the battery? No one remembers? Very bad. Yesterday only I thought, well, QV, no? Q times V. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, remember all that. Some things are important. Okay. Let's say this is R1, this is R2, this is R3, and this is R4. Or let's say this is, because we have to come to a general description, I will take this R4 and this is R3. As per your books, okay, whatever. So now, assume that the current through this I is 0 through the branch in between. Just assume it. Okay, don't ask me why. Just assume. So if you consider the current through this resistance to be 0, then can I say that when the battery is distributing the current, that is a capital I, let's say it's I, small I, and I say that, then it will be distributed as I1 and I2. I will say I1 here and I will say I2 here. In this case, if the current through this resistor is 0, can I say that the current I1 which is going through this will be the same current going through this? Yes or no? Can I say? Similarly, if the current between this resistor is going to be 0, then can I say that the current passing through this branch is going to be same as the current passing through this branch? It is just not going in this branch. Yes or no?
Yes,
No
sir.
response. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So similarly, let's say that these points are A, this is B, this is C, and this is D. So the current, so what can I say is that the potential difference across A and C, of course, take all the magnitudes of the resistances to be same in nature. All are same. All are having capital R as the resistance. So in that case, the potential difference across A and C and the potential difference across C and B are same or different? Are they same or are they different? No answers. No answers. What is it? Is it same or is it different? If I am considering that the resistor in between is what? Is having no current.
Different.
It's different. It's different. Okay, it's different because R1 and R2 are in series now. But what about the potential difference between AC and AD? What is it? Is the
Same.
potential difference? Potential
Same.
difference is same.
Same.
It's same. Why? Because it's parallel. It's parallel. So can I say that the potential difference AC is equal to the potential difference AD? Similarly, can I say that the potential difference CB and DB are going to be the same? So CB also equals to DB. Okay. So let's write down the equations. If this is R1, potential difference across it is V1. So what is the potential difference across it? It is what? I1 into R1. Yes or no? Similarly, potential difference, okay, potential difference V1, because see, again I'm going to take V1, is going to be what? I2 R4. Why? Because the potential difference here, V1, is the same as the potential difference here. So I took it as V1 itself. Similarly, if you take this as V2, since both of these have the same potential, I will take V2 over here also. So V2 is what? On top. What is V2?
I2 R2.
No, it is I1. I said the current passing through this is same as the current passing through this, isn't it? There's no current flowing in
Yes.
between. It is I1 R2.
Yes.
And again, V2 on the downward branch is what? I2 R3.
R3.
Okay. So now look here. If you take the ratio of V1, this V1 with this V2, what will you get? V1 upon V2 equals to what? I1 and I1 will get cancelled. If you take the ratio,
R1 by
R1
R2.
upon R2.
so we get V1 by V2 is equal to R1 by R2. Can I say the same for the other thing also? Over here, if I take these two ratios, what will I get?
R4 by R3.
R4 by R3. So can I say it is R4 by R3 here? It is R4 by R3. So now look at this. Look at this. The Wheatstone is balanced. Okay. The Wheatstone is actually balanced. There's a concept called balancing. Okay, balanced. Why is it balanced? When you actually put a galvanometer over here to check the current, no, it is 0. And whenever we look at, let's see, when we go and buy something for a kg or 2 kg, they balance it against a stone or something. They balance it against an equivalent weight. Similarly, the potential here is balanced with this potential here. Potential here is balanced with this potential here, making this an insignificant resistor. It makes it an insignificant resistor because the current through it is 0. So the Wheatstone bridge is actually balanced when the current is 0 through this resistor, and that condition is possible when we have this ratio. When we have this ratio. So that is either R1 upon R2 should be equal to R4 upon R3. This condition should be true for Wheatstone bridge to be balanced. Next condition is just rearrange these terms. I can say R1 by R4 equals to R2 upon R3. This is another condition, or the best example. Both are good, or else you can also take it as cross multiplication. What will you get? R1 R3 equal to R2 R4. R1 R3 equal to R2 R4. These three conditions are important for the Wheatstone bridge to be balanced. Is this understood? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
So in that case, if I give you a simple problem like this, what is the equivalent resistance across A and B? Consider all resistors to be R.
R.
Everyone understood why he said R? Right now,
Yes, sir.
we can consider the middle resistance to be insignificant because the ratio of R1 and R2, R3 and R4 are equal, or the ratio of these two resistors with these two resistors is equal, or the ratio of cross resistors also are equal. So current will never pass through this at all. It's an insignificant, it's not a significant resistor. Forget that resistor, redraw the diagram in a simple, you don't need to even redraw, but just for the sake of drawing. Two resistors in series, 2R parallel with 2R, and always apply the formula 2R parallel to 2R. So we can say 2R by 2, and that is simply R. That's your resistance. What will be the equivalent resistance if this is what is the equivalent resistance between this?
Four by three R.
4 by 3R. Any other answers? Okay. What will be the equivalent resistance of this then?
Two R.
Is the Wheatstone balanced? Is the
Yes,
Wheatstone
sir.
balanced?
Yes, sir.
Everyone,
Yes, sir.
yeah, you can take the ratios. Okay, R by 2R, 1 by 2, 2R by 4R, 1 by 2. Again, this is gone case. So ultimately, you will get R plus 2R, 3R, and I'll rub this out. R plus 2R, 3R, and 2R plus 4R is what? 6R. So 3R parallel with 6R. Apply the formula 3 into 6 upon 3 plus 6. That is what? 18 upon 9. That will give you 2. So the resistance, equivalent resistance between these 2 points is what? 2. Understood? Okay. We'll study Kirchhoff's law. Okay. It has a different pronunciation actually. It's called Kirchhoff, but we'll call it KVL or KC. That's the best way to pronounce it. Short forms. Okay. So the first, there are two basic laws in this. First is a junction law. Second is a loop law. First is a junction law. Second is a loop law. We will study the junction law in the beginning. So what does this law state? What does junction law state? Simply states that if there is a point of intersection in a circuit, okay, and if there is some certain current I passing here, let's call that I1, and let's say there's another current passing here, I4. Let's say the current here is I2, the current here is I3. Then it is simple, it's simply, we can say that the current entering this point here, I1 and I4, will be the same current which will be equal to, okay, will be equal to the current going out of this point, I2 and I3. Can you agree with that? Can you agree
Yes,
with
sir.
that? So it is simple.
Yes, sir.
It's just telling you that the junction law itself tells you that the sum of all currents, what I'm saying, the sum, the addition of all the currents entering a junction or a intersection point in a circuit is equal to the sum which is going out of it. Okay, so in this case, I can say that I1 plus I4 equals to I2 plus I3. Okay, I1 plus I4 equals to I2 plus I3. So if this is understood, this is as simple as it gets. Can you find out the current through this?
3 ampere.
Yeah. Everyone got it? Yeah. Sum of currents, 5 entering, 2 getting out. So 5 equals to 2 plus x. So x equals to, take this as x. Take this as x. 5 entering inside, sum of all currents entering in an intersection is equal to the sum of currents going out. So that is the equation you get, and x will become as 3 amperes. Please write down the units always. These are important things to note down. So I think you all have understood what the junction law is. How many minutes we got? We got 6 minutes. We'll do sign convention. Please make this a priority to understand. If there is a battery right here, and there is a point here A and B, always remember that right now I'll be walking from A to B. I'm walking from A to B. So in that case, VA minus VB, which is basically the potential difference between A and B, is going to be, if you take this battery to be epsilon, the potential difference is simply going to be what? Epsilon. And of course, it is positive in nature. It is positive in nature. This is your first sign convention. Your second sign convention is the opposite way. In that case, can you all tell me what is going to be the potential difference between them? Will it be positive or negative in nature?
Negative.
Negative.
So I will say that VA minus VB is going to be negative in nature over here. Okay. These two are very important. Let's go to the third one. Third one is, if there is a resistor right here in between, and again I have to find out the potential difference between the points. Then the potential difference VA minus VB is going to be what? Look here. Before you consider what the potential difference is, please decide the direction of your current. If I give you any circuit, always remember, you can consider the direction of current to be like this according to you, or you can consider it to be like this. That is on your, that is left on you. But always remember, if you take the current to be in any direction, the answer has to be the same. Okay, there is no difference in the answer except for the sign. Sign in this case simply will tell you whether the current is in the opposite direction or in the direction which is it's supposed to be in. So the potential difference across A and B, if the current is passing from A to B, if the current is passing from A to B, is going to be what? I times
IR.
R is going to be IR. I times R. V is equal to IR. So the potential difference VA minus VB equal to IR. If I take the current and I switch it in this direction, what is going to happen? Can I say? What can I say? VA minus VB will be what? Equal to?
minus IR.
Minus IR.
Minus IR. Minus IR. So that would be a fourth convention. This thing. Let's talk about a battery now. If I am taking a battery like this, and I say, and I'm telling you that the current is in this direction. This is point A, this is point B, and this is epsilon. Then what is going to be the potential difference? What is going to be the potential difference? Okay, listen, there's a little bit confusion. What is the potential in between A and B? What makes a potential here in this branch? Just tell me what is the reason to create a potential? Is it the battery? Is it
Yes, sir.
yeah, it's the battery. So does it matter where my current direction is going? Does it matter in this case?
No.
It doesn't
No.
matter. If there was a resistor here, of course there's going to be a potential difference here. Then it matters. But right now, whether this current goes like this or like this, what I got to do? I can say that the potential is because of this battery right here. So VA minus VB will be what in this case? Will it be positive or negative? Will it be positive or negative?
Negative.
Going to be
Negative.
Yeah, it's going to be negative. Okay. So whether my current is in this direction or whether my current is coming from this direction, VA minus VB will be always negative in nature. If you consider the same thing in the opposite direction, it's going to be the same. The potential difference across these two A and B will be positive in nature, whether my current I is in this direction or whether my current is in this direction. Doesn't matter. Okay. Are these sign conventions clear? Everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So thanks for joining in, everyone. The class is going to end. It's already 9:40.